Hello, you're listening to Manasi Niv and Asia on Reasoning with Prejudice. In this podcast, we'll entertain you as we debate on topics that are sometimes meaningful, sometimes lighthearted, but always interesting. And you don't even have to give us a penny for our thoughts.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about is ignorance truly bliss? So I usually don't do this, but I went and Googled what about ignorance and bliss and where it came from because, I don't want to be ignorant. And
Oh, God.
what? It's a genuine thing. I don't want to be ignorant. So I found out that the phrase came about by Thomas Gray. He's an 18th century English poet, and he said, "Where ignorance is bliss, it is folly to be wise. Where ignorance is bliss, it is folly to be wise." And he genuinely talks about like childhood bliss, and it's usually mistaken in most contexts. So that's what we'll be debating today.
Wait, I didn't understand the quote. What does it mean?
So yeah, the quote, I think it just means that where ignorance is supposed to be giving you joy, being wise is foolish. I'll just start with a question which I wrote. So it talks about childhood bliss, like I told you before. And so I wanted to put this question forward first. What are the childhood bliss that are primarily caused by ignorance? Like Santa, Tooth Fairy, fairy tales?
Oh, yeah. So a child, they're like, well, they're not dumb, but they're kind of, they believe in things that aren't true, and that makes them happy.
I guess, but what is the use of telling them about Santa? There's a huge man who comes to your door and delivers you gifts.
It's not about like the stupidness of the idea of like, this fat guy in the North Pole kind of monitoring you all year round. It's the idea that children, like, they have to believe in something, and that kind of gives them hope.
Yeah, I guess like when you say it like that, so in a world full of chaos and tragedy, even the belief or the hope of a happy ending is a powerful thing.
Yeah, like me, when I was little, I was obsessed with these fairy books, right? I had like a whole
Rainbow
collection
magic,
of them.
let me guess.
Yeah, those ones. I had like not the whole set because there were like hundreds of those books, but I had like a lot, and I would always like sleep peacefully at night, like thinking that they were kind of watching over me.
Aww.
And like it sounds really lame, but yeah, I would actually really believe in them. Like, I truly believe that they existed. And even though that was ignorant, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing I was ignorant.
I mean, you were
back
if you
then.
believed in it.
Well, no, you don't know if it's true or not. Can't say that.
Oh
That
my
is
god.
true, yeah.
I don't
I
want to
agree
be the
with
one
that.
who would
No.
like break it to Asia. Saying Santa's
No,
not real.
because I don't believe it anymore. I don't believe in it anymore, but I don't know if I was ignorant then or I'm ignorant now. You don't know because there's
That's
no
a good
proof.
point.
But anyway, going back to that, it like gave me like comfort, and it let me, I don't know, it made me feel safer, happier, and it wasn't really harming anyone because when I grew out of it, it was gradual and it didn't really hurt me because, I don't know, it wasn't any big shock or anything like that. It was just something nice from my childhood.
What about you, Mercy? Did you have any beliefs like that?
I mean, the usual Santa and those kind of things, but not much. I think I wanted to know stuff as a child, but in a way, I think that even though children are much happier, they are more anxious. Like, imagine, like babies, for example. Imagine not knowing how to communicate something. There's a reason why they're crying all the time.
That isn't really ignorance, though. That's more like inability.
Basically, my mom had convinced me that if you take like a bunch of papers and cut them in a certain way, you put them in a bowl and you put that in the microwave, they'll turn into cookies. So to be specific, the Parle G biscuits from India. So whenever like I thought we didn't have those biscuits at home, I'd use my quotation mark secret recipe and put it in, and I'll like go to the bathroom or something for 5 minutes, and she'll quickly swap it out. And she like extended that story by saying if you put pom-poms along with it, you'll get whipped cream, which
Aw.
was really fun. And then I tried to do it at my cousin's place, and my grandmother got really mad at how I was acting. And I was like, your paper is just not high quality then.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, those kind of things, they were fun to think about, like when you're grown up. It's a fun memory to have, I guess. Even if you're
Definitely,
ignorant
yeah.
then. Yeah, you truly believed in that, didn't you? Like the paper would actually turn. And
Yeah. I think it's good that ignorance is a part of being a child, or pretends stories as being a part of a child, because when you grow up you have to face things in the world, your own problems, and then problems like global warming or hunger, or like all these huge big problems that sometimes we feel like we aren't doing enough. I think it's
mm.
good to have that small part of your life where
So it's like
everything is
preserving your
perfect.
childhood.
Yeah, yeah.
See, for
Everyone
me,
deserves that.
yeah. For me, I never believed in Santa, Tooth Fairy, or anything. My mom, like, she would just tell me honestly. Once, the first time my tooth fell in school, and my friend, she was like, "Oh yeah, take your tooth home. Tooth Fairy will come and she'll leave you money." And I took it home, like carefully packaged in a paper. And then I took it home, and my mom was like, "Chuck it out. Nothing's gonna happen. Are you stupid? How is this gonna come?" And she never let us believe like anything like Santa or Tooth Fairy or anything like that. And I'm like really grateful for that in a way.
Hmm.
I don't think I missed out on much because like I still got gifts. I still believed in like
But
yeah.
you don't know what you missed out on, because like I don't think I would ever be able to describe like the happiness that I felt when I believed in magic. Like it actually felt magical, and I don't think I could ever replicate that in like my adult life, because as a child you're like so innocent, you can believe in like these impossible things.
Mm.
And I just,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just a feeling that I'll never get back.
Well, I still had I was grown in a house where faith was an important thing. So I still had my religion and my faith and my other things, but all these construct, these extra things, which I know like people grow up into, but sometimes it does not happen. Like I remember in year 2 or 3, or maybe a bit older, there was this kid in the class who genuinely believed in Santa, and all the other kids were making fun of the kid because the kid wasn't grown up.
Oh,
But
that's so horrible of them. Like,
it's in the sense that it happens. At some point, you have to have the conversation with the kid, saying, "Oh my God, it's not real. So why create it when you're gonna break it?"
When I was believing in the tooth fairy, it was like fun for me, right? But then when I grew up, I like realized that it couldn't be true, and then it was fun for me to like keep the secret from Amina and
yeah,
like all the other kids. Like I felt like grown up and superior, and then they would grow up and they would do the same to like their friends or people younger than them. It's like you keep the
yeah.
secret.
And it's interesting when you figure it out for yourself, because there's a sense of satisfaction that you don't need someone else convincing you that it's not true. So like for
Mm.
me,
Yeah.
I just started to understand that Santa wasn't real. So it went from believing that Santa, gave you gifts, to believing that he only lived in the North Pole. And then one day I just asked my mom, like, is Santa not real? And she's like, he's not. And I think that was it. And then my brother came along, so I could
Yeah.
play along
It's like
with
you.
it. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the movie Rise of the Guardians. It's really sad when the kids stop believing or they stop believing.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Okay. I agree with one thing maybe because I think believing in Santa, believing that there's a naughty and nice list, kind of instills good values in kids. Maybe kind of telling them to be nice throughout the year so they get a good gift. Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
what parents did. My parents didn't let me believe in it, and I don't
Like,
know. I didn't
yeah.
miss out on much, to be fair. Hmm.
Both of us will never know. Like, we'll never know I don't know, satisfaction of knowing what was true and what was not, and like the satisfaction of seeing other kids, I don't know
Hmm.
if you want to say stupidly, believing in these things. Like, we'll never know
Hmm.
that feeling, I guess.
I mean, we would know it because we see little kids believing in it.
To be fair,
No, but they're
yeah.
not the same age as you. And I think that feeling of I know it sounds bad, but that feeling of being superior, it kind of motivated me in other aspects of my life because I never wanted to let that go. And once kids started catching up to me and started not believing in Santa and other things, I wanted to feel superior in other ways. So I started focusing on my academic success and other parts of my life so I can still be superior.
Do you think it's actually linked though?
Yeah. And my mom would instead of telling me stories about Santa and Tooth Fairy, she would tell me, I knew about eyes and the cornea and how it worked very early on. She would tell me those stories as bedtime stories, and she told me about the environmental struggles and pollution and all that. I guess in a way that I didn't have the typical childhood that other people believe, like blissful ignorance or whatever. But my childhood was still good, but again, I don't know what I missed out on.
I just feel like we have all our life, like after, I don't know, 10 years or 12 years maximum, we have our entire life to know all these things and be affected by them in whatever
Mm-hmm.
way. But, childhood or until like you're independent, that's the only time where you can be safe and don't have to worry about anything. So I think it's a nice part.
It makes sense why you want to preserve that childhood. So my mom used to do this thing where, when I was young, she used to do this thing where she touched her middle finger and her ring finger to her thumb and made a deer. And she used to make them with both the hands, and she'd make it talk to me and stuff. And at one point, she told me that I got too involved in the fantasy, and she had to kill them off to bring me out of it. And I look back, and I was so sad when I couldn't see them anymore. But it was for the best thing because I was going too into it. Because you can't live in fantasy, even as a kid. It's not good to live in a fantasy.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, okay, it might be a bit unrelated, but do you think all these amazing writers like Roald Dahl, is that how you pronounce it? Roald Dahl,
Rolled out, yeah.
J.K.
Mm-hmm.
Rowling, and all these people who wrote about these like beautiful fantasy lands and adventures that they have, I think in that there's still some sort of childhood innocence that comes into it, like believing in the impossible actually lets you kind of broaden up your imagination, like thinking palette. And if we didn't have that, I don't know, unreal kind of imagination part of ourselves, it it would be boring. Like even now I daydream so much about things that are just unrealistic to happen in real life, just magical. And I think it's healthy in a way to keep that part of yourself alive.
I think have that. You can read about that stuff, you can know about that stuff, but it's important to understand the reality as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but did you
Yeah.
go back to the thing with your mom and the deers with her hands? You didn't actually believe that her hands were actual animals,
Well, what
right?
do I know? I was a kid, so obviously I believed that. I believed they were my friends. I was a lonely kid, so you know.
I know it's like ignorant in a way as well, but
It's more like, okay, you're saying, okay, you have to preserve the. I mean, I know I keep referring back to this, but you're saying, oh yeah, when they grow up, they have to face all these problems anyway. Yeah, keeping children shielded from some problems is good, but why kind of take them to this pretense land? You can just
because
keep them
our
away from global warming or whatever that you're so scared of that they would affect their innocence. But why do you have to take them to a different place?
because
Well,
our yeah,
why not?
our world is just not good enough, I think, to be just fit for
Well, there's
children.
not there's not good, genuinely good people, genuine heroics that people have done you can't tell your kid about. If I'm ever going to rob a house, I will go during Christmas time dressed as a Santa, and no kid will scream. I'm not
You have
even
to come up
kidding.
with a good
That's my
disguise,
idea.
though.
It's like a money heist type idea.
Yeah. I think they will scream though.
No, I don't understand. What makes it? I understand the magic of it and all that, but it's an intruder in your house in the middle of the night eating your food. What makes that okay?
Okay, we're not like kids don't think about it like that. They believe whatever you tell them and they're happy about it. So like going back to the question, is ignorance bliss? It definitely is in this case because children all around the world are so happy for Santa and the Tooth Fairy when they like come downstairs, they see Santa's left them presents, or the Tooth Fairies left them money. They are so happy, and it is like it's bliss that they're
Yeah.
ignorant about it.
Like,
Well,
Niv, you tell me,
sure.
you know, when your mom did the finger thing, did you feel happy? Did you like it?
Well,
If you liked
yeah,
it, then ignorance is bliss.
okay, I liked it, but I understand why I shouldn't be drawn into it. And also, there was this thing where this is the same time period when kids believe about Santa that you tend to teach them about stranger danger and stuff like this. And you're gonna like take a kid to the mall and you make them sit on the laps of strangers. What makes this okay because a person is dressed in a certain costume? That you say to your kid that this person is safe because they're dressed in a certain costume.
So people dressed up in costumes is like not all right. Like you're what about when you go to Disneyland and people are dressed up as princesses or like you're not gonna leave them alone with a Santa in like a locked room. You're like meeting them with the children.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
okay. It is blissful.
I think kids are gonna be a bit more suspicious. Like, it's like when their parents say that this person is safe, like, they know it's someone dressed as Santa because they're gonna see a different Santa every single time. It's just like playing along. There's different Christmas trees everywhere. Like, do you see what I mean?
But
They're not
Madison,
gonna know
Christmas
this is
Yeah.
the
tree is not a
Santa.
thing we believe in. As in, okay.
I know, I'm saying
Well,
that everything is different. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. Like in Home Alone,
Yeah.
and the kid goes up to the Santa dressed up, and he goes, "I know how this works. I'm like a smart kid. I know, and I know that you're one of Santa's helpers, and you dress up as him, and you like tell him what all the kids in this area want, and he tells him what he wants for Christmas and everything. Kids aren't dumb. They know it's not the real Santa.
mm,
I guess it's the same as religion in a way, you know. Like,
yeah,
at the end of the
maybe.
day, you're always believing something that it's a faith, even though at the end of the day, if you don't know it's true or not, you just believe because it makes you happy and it makes you feel safe and peaceful.
Okay, so moving on from like happiness that is kind of harmless. What about um like ignorance that is like dangerous? So like ignorance about global warming or feminism or
Okay,
things
Yes.
I'll
like
just put
that.
that in a different way, right? So you're talking about ignorance and
Mm.
the global warming, but since we're on the topic of children, I'm going to ask this question, which is similar to Asia's. So children are generally intended to be protected from violence, drugs, and offensive content, be it real life or television. Is this okay?
Yeah, because there are some things I wish I didn't see when I was younger, when I watched stuff
Yeah.
that wasn't for my age. I just wish I
What?
didn't see it, even though it was cool back then and I liked seeing it. It just kind of distorted my perception of reality early on because I wasn't equipped to
Yeah.
understand it fully.
Okay, what do you mean for your age? Because maturity is different from age. So shouldn't each kid be told information at different times, depending on how mature they are?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, age is a bad way to put it. I guess maturity, because I think parents are kind of the best people to not like they're never gonna know when what exact maturity their child has, but yeah, there shouldn't be a. I guess they can choose what to show their children.
I think when the child can like choose what they think can or can't hurt them, I think that's like the best indicator of their maturity. Because I think maybe I don't know, like 12 or 11 or 12, maybe, when I like realized what I can and can't watch to like that would scar me or that would traumatize me.
Yeah.
But like before that, like my parents would put on Jurassic Park or, you know, something that is like made for kids, but I couldn't deal with, and like I would just be really scared about things like that.
No, but like serious things like
yeah.
violence and drugs. Because I don't
I
know,
agree.
because I think maybe not television where they exaggerate things, but I don't know if I'm wrong about this. Is it never too young to teach your kids about violence and drugs and all the evils out there? Not make them scared per se, but just educate them, like just enough that they're like on alert.
Yeah.
I think there comes a point where the child, I don't know if this is just me, but there came an age where I was just curious about everything, and I wouldn't ask anyone. I would just find everything out by myself, like about sex and drugs and things like that. I would just find everything out by myself.
See, I think that's harmful to some extent because the information you find out online can be really brutally honest. Like, for example, I know many people who, when they're trying to find about sex, just come across porn sites, and the content there is very, very damaging. So I think there should,
Yeah,
like you said, Niv,
I agree.
What do you mean by damaging?
damaging as
It's
in,
not
first of all,
real.
it's unrealistic.
Yeah,
Second of all, there are like videos of just unethical stuff, as
yeah.
in not no consent
Mm-hmm.
or minors or just stuff that can seem very violent. And you can't censor a child against that. So I think even though they should explore it on their own, there should be a point when the parents sit them down and maybe scientifically, maybe theoretically, just tell them what it is so they
Like
don't
parental
But the
feel
control.
thing
helpless.
is, like you can't like restrict what your child sees, because it's just going to make them want to do it more, especially at that age,
I'm
like
not, yeah.
12, that kind of age. You have access to the
I'm
internet,
not
you have
saying
access to your own.
restrict
No,
them, but I'm
actually,
saying
Yeah.
give them some idea about the topic so they can find a direction in which they can start their own research. If you just tell them to blindly jump in a swimming pool, they won't be
and
able to
then
swim. You need to
swim.
teach
Yeah.
them.
And I
Yeah,
think
that's a good
for
point.
internet, the kids access it so easily these days, and that just makes me anxious. I think there should be some
Yeah.
parental control on what the kid searches. So I don't know. It's so easily available, any technology right now, and you never know what a child is going through. And you hear all these horror stories about kids being
Yeah.
poached by old people
Yeah.
on the internet. That's
Manipulated.
so scary. And yeah, sure, educating your kid is all fine, but your kid is at that stage where no matter how much you tell them, they're gonna go and explore it on themselves. You know what I mean?
And
And
you
they're
know,
not in the
Asian,
stage where they
yeah.
can make decision about what's right and wrong.
Yeah, like as a child, I always thought that what I did was right. Like at
Mm.
any point in my life, I was always like, this is right. I know myself better than anyone, and I know that
Yeah,
I can watch this content. But after I grow up, it's like, I shouldn't have watched that content because you're always going to think you're right, but whether you are or not is a completely different thing.
I remember my sister. She always wanted to watch horror shows and horror movies, even when she was young. Obviously, I was old enough to watch, so I would watch, and she'd watch with me. And my parents would always tell her no. But once she watched without my parents' consent, and she had horrible nightmares.
Yeah, but I think that's necessary for her to, if that never happened, she'd constantly feel remorse towards your parents. She'd feel like unknowing of the danger.
Well,
So I think it's necessary for a little bit of trauma so that the child learns what they can and cannot
a little
handle.
bit of trauma is probably necessary, but where possible, I think it's good to protect, because you are all about protecting the innocence of children. Why not here?
I
If you're
I don't
telling
know,
if you're telling them, oh, believe in Santa because it's magical, why don't you protect them from the real world and keep that magic for longer?
because there comes a point where they're not a child anymore and they have to
Yeah,
learn
but I'm
about
saying
the real
I'm
world.
saying my sister is a child in this scenario.
I think forbidding is never the answer. Like, I've been forbidden to do stuff in the past, and it never works out. Instead, I think either the parents should sit with the child while watching the movie and kind of I not observe them, but get to know them better, and then or like watch the content beforehand, ease them into it. Like
That's
I
what
know
my
it's
mom used to do.
easier said than done.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think that's because, like, after the incident, after she had nightmares, my mom would watch the movies with her, and that made her so, like, resistant to this that right now she
Hmm.
can watch so many horror movies and
Yeah.
she'll be fine. She watches shows that people my age can't watch.
And the child is always going to resist, like whatever you do, whatever you forbid, they're always going to find a way to do it. So why not just try to ease them into it than just saying, yeah, it's a free for all, the internet's all yours, you can just watch whatever you want and get hurt along
Yeah.
the way.
I agree with you. Forbidding is not the answer because whenever I was told no, by anybody, like be my teachers, my friends, my parents, I wanted to do that more.
Yeah.
In the sense that if I really want to do something, like if I want to eat that sweet or something, and then my grandma says, no, you can't have it, I just want it more.
It just seems more precious, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like this forbidden fruit that you just
exactly.
want to have.
I think with ignorance, be it with violence, drugs, offensive content, whatever, or with Santa and Tooth Fairy, I think you should let the child decide. With me, if they want to go towards the information, I'll just lead them to the information. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I think, see, all of us are talking about these different parental styles because, um, our parents grew us up this way, and all of us turned out relatively fine. So I think
Well,
even though they're
all of us are messed
different,
up in different ways too.
yeah, yeah, but even though they're different ways, it's
Mm.
it's just how you do it. It's just your choice because at the end of the day, you're going to not shape your child, but it's like you're going to give them direction if they want it.
Yeah,
And
that's true. Okay, that's about children, right? So, what about us? Do we hide things from our parents, friends, siblings, claiming that what they don't know won't hurt them?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, here comes the $1 million question. Like what?
just stuff that is trivial, I guess. And it's just like unnecessary questions and people are it's just unnecessary. It's private things that I keep.
Okay, so say I have a friend or like a family member who doesn't like another one of my friends or family members. I wouldn't go up to my friend or family member and tell them that that person doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Like, I'd just leave it. They don't need to know that.
Yeah, I used to think that way for a very long time. So, my best friend, so we used to talk about many things, and she would always tell me the hard truths. And I would ask her, like, why do you tell me even though you know I'll get hurt? And she would tell, it's because you would do the same for me, because we are that kind of friends. We tell each other the hard truths. And I like that. And I would expect that from all my friends now. And I tell them that as well. I would rather know if someone doesn't like me. I would rather know if someone talked bad about me or if you heard anything about me.
No. Talking bad is like different because that's like you'd feel the need to tell them that because you'd like feel loyalty to them. But if it's just something that can't be fixed, like just not liking someone, then like
Yeah,
why
because it's the hard truth. I would rather live with that knowledge. It's like okay, if it's my friends, if it's my family, I would tell them if someone doesn't like them because I'm not going to make the decision for them saying I'm just protecting them, like it won't hurt them. It's their decision to make. It's not my decision. It's something about them. Unless someone specifically told me, I'm telling you this in confidence.
Yeah. I guess some truths are not unnecessary, but they aren't as needed to be disclosed because all they're like to me, if you tell me something, a truth that is bad and it's just not helping in any way, then or I can't do anything about it, I'll just rather not know.
Yeah, me,
yeah.
I don't know. I would rather
I would
know
It's a tricky
because
question
there's
because
always
yeah.
things you can do with it. There's always.
Okay. Yeah, so you said that you'll never know if ignorance is bliss, because once you find out about something, there's so much you can do with it. And I agree with that, because I have this friend whose mother doesn't know about him like indulging in drinking and those kind of activities, because it's not forbidden in our religion, but it's looked down upon, and they hide it from their mother. And I was at this get together party where, he was winking at the other parents, like, I don't drink, like in a suggestive manner. And I just felt bad for the mom because she had no idea, and it just made her look a bit dumb. And I would hate feeling that way, like your child cracking jokes about you with other parents. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think in that case, even though ignorance is bliss, I think it's better that the truth is told.
But if the mom knew, what good could come of that? Because it would just, one, cause an argument, two, like their relationship would be damaged, and three, like he's not gonna stop doing things that he wants
Yeah,
to
but
do.
this is all hypothetical. You think the relationship will be damaged. You think that
Yeah.
maybe the relationship will be improved because of the truth.
Because of the honesty. Because if you're like hiding stuff from your parents, like I know many people do that, but if I was a parent, I'd rather they be honest with me.
And drinking is fine,
Yeah.
maybe, but drinking without an adult's knowledge when you're a kid.
But yeah, I just felt bad. Like I would never ever want to be in that position where I was like, I don't know, forced to be ignorant to that extent that other people knew about the truth.
Obviously, I hide things too. Like, I just hate it when people lie to me when it's about me. Like, if we're having, if you're not happy with me, or if someone else is not happy with me, tell me. It's just gonna harm me.
Yeah.
Even like, in The Big Bang Theory, when Penny, Bernadette, and Amy go wedding dress shopping, and Amy picks a dress that the other two hates. I'm glad that Penny and Bernadette told her, even though their opinion. Okay, Amy kind of tells them that they're not being a supportive friend.
But then, if she likes it, I guess you can always tell your opinion. But if the other person genuinely likes the dress, like I've watched Say Yes to the Dress so many times, and when I always see these, I don't know, just these whiny sisters or whiny mothers, who are like,
those
no,
are
I don't like it. I'm like, just shut up, it's her day. Let her do whatever she wants to.
Okay, so I do think my opinion is important, but I don't think, okay, if we go wedding dress shopping for one of your weddings and you guys love a dress, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's your opinion, it's your dress, so I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
What happened to hard truth?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that before, like, you tell me that you like the dress or you're in love with the dress. I'd be like, okay, I like this dress, but I've liked some other dresses better. I'm not gonna say I hate this dress.
Yeah.
Because
I guess,
what do I know?
hard truths I don't think hard truths apply here, at least in my opinion,
it's not
because
a hard truth.
it's not hurting you. It's being kind of like, it's kind of taking away your need for truth and letting the other person have their way. It's being selfless about your needs.
But if I look disgusting in a dress and I walk down the aisle in front of hundreds of people, that would be hurting.
No, not disgusting.
You're in a dress that you like, and also like my fashion taste. You're not gonna wear my clothes, and I'm not gonna ever wear your clothes. But doesn't mean I'm gonna tell, oh, I hate your clothes. I hate the way you look.
Okay, not just you. Like I don't know.
You have good fashion taste though, AJ. Like obviously, if I don't know, if something wasn't right from the back, if you can, I don't know, see something that isn't supposed to be seen, we'd tell you. Like, this is like, are you sure you want this to be this way? Or we'd encourage you, like, okay, you can like block this dress, like let the store, like tell the store to keep it aside, and we can go for more dress shoppings just for fun, so you can like explore more.
So some of the clothes that Manasi wears or Asia wears, I'm not ever gonna wear it. I can't ever imagine myself wearing it because that's just not my style. So if I just don't like your dress because that's not my fashion sense, I'm not gonna tell anything about it. But say if it's about who you're marrying, I'm definitely gonna have an opinion. I'm gonna tell you what I feel like because I'm stuck with that person forever.
I'm going to be the most overprotective friend you've ever seen. So like, watch out.
So it's all right to protect people from trivial things, but not like.
Not even trivial, like, but this is not protecting, is it? Like, I'm not protecting them from trivial things, because I'm just accepting the fact that my fashion sense is different.
Yeah. But when it comes to a person, I think it's better that you have all sorts of perspectives on the person you're going to be
Yeah,
with.
but a person, you have different tastes in a person as well. I could like, I know you could hate that the person isn't smart, but I could like, I don't know,
Not if the person isn't
I could like that
smart.
about them.
Like the interactions for example, if one of us knew the person before you met them, then we'd have a different perception of them. Maybe we've seen them do some bad stuff that they hide from you, like
Yeah,
that kind of
it's
thing.
not their characteristics. Like, you're free to like, I don't know, a goofball or a really clever person or a
Yeah,
really poor person. That's up to you, honestly. I'm not talking
yeah,
about the characteristics you're going for. I'm talking about the hard truths. Like,
the warning signs,
yeah.
like stuff you've seen them do or seen them say that you're like, wait a second, is this going to affect my friend in later life? I'll just tell her that they said this.
And yeah, okay, I know this is again my opinion, but so if you guys get married and we are really good friends, it means whoever you marry will be in my life as well, right? So I would tell, okay, if we're not getting along, I would tell you that we're not getting along, so you can make a decision accordingly. If you end up marrying with them, I'll have to suck it up. But if you choose like not to, well then, I'm just letting you know. Do you know what I mean?
If my like fiance didn't get along with you guys, it's like not to do with the red flags that you see. It's to do with like your relationship with him. And it's kind of, if you tell me that, and it's kind of putting my happiness.
Yeah, actually, I agree with that.
That's good to, I mean, that's true too. But I would rather, if you guys have a problem with someone in my life, I would rather know about it so I can do something about it. I can talk to them. I can find out what the problem is so I can fix it.
Yeah, but like if you have to tell me, if you have to like disrupt my wedding to tell me
Yeah.
that you're not getting along with this person, it's going to be something really serious that like it would never be truly fixed if like it's that serious that you have to
But that's
tell me that
you
you're not getting
assuming.
along.
That's you assuming, isn't it? Because
No, you're not gonna tell me like, oh, he like stole my packet of crisps and I don't want you to marry this guy. It's not gonna be something like that. It's gonna be
Yeah.
something big.
okay, something big like what? Okay,
Like,
I
you
don't
know
know.
when I forgot his name. Rachel's boyfriend kind of takes a pass at Phoebe, and Phoebe tells.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important.
That's
But
Definitely.
if
important.
it's if
Yeah.
it is
But
something big,
that's to do with Rachel as well. That's to do with him cheating on
yeah.
Rachel. But if it's just between you and him,
Yeah.
then it's different.
If
So,
it's a
like,
really big issue, then I would rather it's not compromising your happiness, because I would rather like let you
No,
know.
it is.
yeah.
Because then I would be having to choose like whether to marry him or not for the sake of like I don't know, I'd feel obligated to
Hmm.
break up with him to make you happy
What?
or
No,
stay with
that
him
is
and make you
no, okay.
sad.
Me coming to you with a problem about someone in your life doesn't mean you have to choose one person over the other. It means trying to fix it, because you have a neutral stand. You like me and you like the other person. You're the only one in the situation who has a neutral stand. And if the
But,
situation is
yeah.
that big, would you not want to know? Would you rather that I just take off one day and never talk to you?
If
Yeah, but
it's,
you wouldn't do that.
Aisha, I'm not going to hang around with people I don't like.
I'm not going to be glued to the person.
Yeah, but then
yeah.
your life will be entangled with them. You know when Ted from How I Met Your Mother says, when couples like get together, they kind of merge into one person. That actually happens. So when my parents got married, their friends are mutual. I would rather know. So it's just a notification. Like, you guys just tell me, okay?
Yeah.
And if you want me to hide it, I shall do that.
Not hide it. Like,
No, I don't want you
So
to
what the
hide
hell
it.
are you talking about?
No, I wouldn't want you to hide it, but like if you chose to hide it, I would understand.
I'll just like put you guys in one room with me, and I'll just like make you sort it out.
Yeah, I would like that. I'm like, I can fix it. Just
Yeah.
help me
Like
fix
fight.
it. Yeah, help me fix the problem I have. Help me understand, so I'll be fine with it.
Yeah,
And
and you'll
okay,
get entertained.
the information, I'm just giving it to you because like, I would want you to have control. You know what this on in a different note. You know what I always thought? I thought if I ever get a terminal illness like Alzheimer's or cancer, I would save up enough money and go far, far away from my family and friends.
Yeah, you told me this.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, I still don't agree with that. Like,
Well,
oh,
tough
maybe.
luck, deal with it. Because that's not to do with keeping them ignorant and keeping them blissful. It's to do with I don't want their last memories of me to be all depressing and sad and being a sick person.
Yeah, but you're deciding for
I'm
them.
deciding for myself.
So this is a movie. So the policewoman just asks the guy, like, just tell me if he's alive or not because I'm waiting home for the phone to ring every single day because I just don't know where he is. Like, you need to know if they're okay, what they're doing. It's like
I
never
guess.
ending ignorance about not knowing anything, and you're just like, what is happening with them?
No, but that isn't ignorance. That is knowing what you don't know.
Even though it's ignorance, in this scenario, it's not blissful.
Yeah, I would leave a note saying that for whatever reason I'm running away and I want to be away. Please don't look for me. I'm not kidnapped. I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna be happy. So
You
at least
really think that
no,
no
they
one's
would be
gonna look?
sad because I abandoned my friends and my family. They would be sad. They would feel betrayed. But at least after some time, after they actually forgive me, if they forgive me, they'd at least live with the knowledge that I'm happy somewhere. I saw my granddad fall ill. I saw what it did to my family. I saw what it did to him. Is it so bad that I don't want that for myself? Is it so bad that ignorance is truly bliss? Because if no one found out that I had an illness, they don't have to live in constant worry which day I'm gonna die. Is it today or tomorrow?
I agree. I guess just make up a better lie. Give them an actual reason than just I'm running away because I want to.
Yeah.
Because that would actually give them a full ignorance is bliss kind of scenario.
Yeah, now it won't actually work because I told you. And if I'm actually running away, you'd be like, oh my god, she's dying. In the sense that if someone's been living with cancer or living with a tumor for ages and they're living a happy life, is that blissful?
Well,
Yeah, it's blissful.
But isn't that preventing you to come up with a solution? Isn't that preventing medical care?
That is actually a really good point. Like, it's a really good analogy. Yeah, I agree.
but some people choose not to, like if it's cancer, some people choose not to have chemo and just, you know,
Yeah,
not.
but
yeah,
even
but you're taking away that choice.
and
That's true.
some people, when they know they're gonna die, they get their house in order. They kind of prepare their loved ones. They prepare themselves to embrace death.
Yeah, and they kind of, I don't know, just respect life more and do more things. Like right now in the pandemic, I'm doing nothing all day. But if I knew I was gonna die in a week, I'll probably not lay in bed half the day and do something.
Isn't being ignorant blissful in terms of the future or like results day or death day?
No, because again, it's you're knowing what you're not knowing, so you're not ignorant. Like, you know that you're gonna
Yeah,
die,
but you
but
don't
you
know
just
when
don't
you're
know
gonna die.
when. Like, you're not ignorant about it. Like, you.
You can't know it, so there's nothing ignorant to be about. Because even, like, I know you believe that there's patterns in your life and fate and everything, but I don't believe in that. So to
I mean,
me,
not fate.
I,
I mean, that's
yeah, no, not fate, but like that kind of thing where
Mm.
not everything is fixed, but there's a pattern. But for me, I think there is no death day, so what is there to find out about? I can't know something that doesn't exist, in my belief.
I kind of get that. It's like saying even when you know you're gonna die, you live a better life with that knowledge. So yeah, like I didn't want to talk about like global warming and stuff like that because it goes for the same analogy, as in when you deny like or when you don't know the problem like the tumor, there's nothing you can do to fix it.
But what if there are no solutions? So, like, I'll give an example, right? So I know someone, right, and they know they got a tattoo, and it's like quite a big tattoo, and they know that their parents wouldn't approve of it, so they hide it from them, and they don't make fun of them behind their back, like, like the drinking story, and they don't, like, it's not harming them, it's not harming the parents, but they keep it from them, right? And even if the parents knew, like, what kind of solution could they come up with to make everyone
I mean,
happy? Like,
it's just a difference in opinion, and I think in this case, ignorance is bliss because both parties are happy.
well, ignorance is always bliss, but I think the point that Niv's trying to make is that ignorance can be, like, it's dangerous. It's, like, unnecessary because you can
Yeah, but it
find
depends on the
problems.
situation, because I'm the
I
same
mean,
person who
solutions.
said we have to give each other the hard truths. The tattoo thing, it's not a problem. It's if in my opinion, it is nothing.
No, but you don't know, like, the parent, like, they're very old fashioned. They're, like, quite old. They're, like, set in their ways, and they have views on how things should be. Like, if they knew, what if they disowned this child? Like, it's a big deal to them. It's a big deal
Disowning
to
a
the
child
child.
because of tattoos.
Yeah, you think it's stupid, but it happens. It happened, like, things like this happen all across the world for the most stupid reasons that we can't, like, make sense of, but they do
I guess
happen.
I can just say that from my opinion, as in like my privileged position that I'm in, I can say ignorance is not blissful.
I I kind of agree in a way. I think ignorance is bliss, but it's a dangerous bliss. When I close my light, when I turn on my fan for white noise, when I take off my glasses and I can't see anything clearly, that is ignorance. Like, I don't know anything. Like, everything is just darkness, blackness merged into one, and that makes me happy because I can imagine it to be whatever I want it to be if needed.
Oh, okay. That is a really good thing that you said, because it reminded me of the Big Bang theory. So Howard's father would have run away when he was away, and he would have gotten a letter from his dad, and so he doesn't want to read it because for whatever reason, and his friends read it by mistake, by accident, and now he wants to know, but then he really doesn't want to know. He wants to know because his friends know, but he doesn't want to know because it's his choice. So his friends come up with a solution, something called a quantum superposition. So it's a principle that something exists in all its possible states at once. Kind of like you can achieve knowing and not knowing. So each of his friends present him like with an account of what his father wrote for him, of which only one of it is true. So Howard will
Mm,
have no idea which one is true, but he'll also know that it's one of what his friend said. So
yeah.
you can know and not know at the same time.
Yeah.
I've ruined a couple of things for Asia. I mean, I'm really embarrassed to say that, but she's ruined some things about for me as well.
Mhm.
And she once told me, I don't know if you remember, I'm just quoting you. You said you read this study or something where you tend to notice other things in the book when you know the ending.
That's why I like, when I read or watch something I really like, I'll always watch it twice, because I can watch it while not knowing, so you get the surprise. But then you watch it while knowing as well, so you see all the little hints and Easter eggs and stuff that's, like, pointing you towards the, like, the twist, or the answer.
So,
Yeah.
so in a way, we know our ending, that's death. So we kind of spend our lives searching for the little moments that makes it worth it.
There's different types of ignorance. There's childhood ignorance. There's some people choosing to be ignorant. Like, if you see stories about Palestine or Israel and that conflict, or the stuff going on in Syria and Black Lives Matter movement, and you just dismiss it like, it's fake, or I don't care about it that much, or I'm not gonna. That's your choice, and it's damaging, I think.
I mean, it's blissful to them because they don't have the weight of the world on their shoulders. On the
Yeah.
other hand, they're not fixing the integral part of our society. It's like living with damage and closing your eyes. It's like saying the whole house is on fire, but you're closing your eyes and then saying, no, it's not on fire.
And I mean, I know that people say that you don't have to, know everything, and you don't have to fix every problem in the world, but if you're coming across something and if you can help in any way, at least all you could do is, like, at least read about it, in your spare time.
I think, yeah, knowledge is really really
Yeah.
kind of powerful. Yeah, I must have told you guys this story, but when I was younger, my mom used to tell me about environmental pollution and stuff. And I went around the whole day telling everyone that I was going to save the world. And many people like made fun of me. I remember this one boy, he said, such a big universe, in that such a big world, and in that such a big country, in that such a big city, in that such a big school, and you're such a small girl and you think you're going to save the world. And I mean, I probably wouldn't be saving the world, and but I don't know, I would rather have that thought about change. I would rather tell myself that I would do something about it than just denying the existence of the problem itself. It's impossible to be passionate about everything in this world and solving every issue because there's so many problems. But I guess educating yourself is something doable, because when the next politician talks about it, you would know what they're saying and you would vote for the right person. You would bring about the change. You don't have to really grow up to be the scientist and cure cancer, but you can support the scientist who's curing the cancer. You need to know what cancer is to support them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for listening. You can follow us at Reasoning with Prejudice on Instagram. You can also listen to us via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Red Circle, and Radio Public. Tune in for our next episode where we'll discuss the factors that affect friendship groups and how well they thrive. And we're also excited to have our first guest speaker with us too.
Shout out to one of our listeners, Finn, who suggested the topic.
You have been listening to Reasoning with Prejudice with Asia,
Manasi,
and Niv.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.